Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa coming to you from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. The Catholics of the Milwaukee Archdiocese in the U.S. offered prayers for the victims of the Wisconsin Christmas parade tragedy. On the evening of November 21st, an SUV plowed through a Christmas parade in Waukesha in the state of Wisconsin, killing 5 people and injuring more than 40, including a Catholic priest and students of a Catholic school. Archbishop Jerome Listecki of Milwaukee expressed solidarity with the victims and their families and also prayed for them. In a video message, the prelate said that it is now important to turn to faith that offers God's loving presence and consolation. In the aftermath of the tragedy, all 4 Catholic parishes of Waukesha conducted rosary and Eucharistic adoration services that were live-streamed. The Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha that had a contingent marching in the parade held a prayer service along with other schools. Veteran British Catholic Parliamentarian Sir David Amess, who was killed by an extremist last month, was laid to rest on November 23rd. The funeral service of the veteran member of the House of Lords, who was fatally stabbed by a British citizen of Somali origin, was held at Westminster Cathedral, presided over by Cardinal Vincent Nichols, during which a message from Pope Francis was read. A private ecumenical service was held on November 22nd for the late politician in a church in Southend. It was led by Reverend Paul Mackay and Monsignor Kevin William. Hundreds of mourners paid their respects to the late MP in the South End when his flag-draped coffin was taken through the streets in a horse-drawn hearse. A staunch Catholic and firm opponent of abortion, Sir Amess was killed while he was having a constituency meeting at Belfair's Methodist Church in Leigh-on-Sea on October 15th. The Parliamentarian was also instrumental in organizing the apostolic visit of Pope Benedict XVI to Britain in 2010. The Catholic Prelates of Canada have issued a pastoral letter in which they have expressed concern over the issues of human trafficking and sexual exploitation of women. In the letter entitled, "For Freedom, Christ Has Set Us Free, Pastoral Letter on Human Trafficking and Sexual Exploitation in Canada," the bishops emphasize the intrinsically exploitative and harmful nature of the purchase of sex. The prelate said that such practices cannot be treated as sex work, explaining that the physical and psychological abuse perpetrated on the individual is hidden when it is just viewed as work. Father Jean-Pierre Schumacher, the last survivor of the 1966 TIBHIRINE massacre in which 7 Trappist monks were murdered in Algeria in 1966, passed away on Sunday at the age of 97. He died at the monastery of Our Lady of the Atlas in the central Morocco. The French monk and another confrere miraculously escaped the massacre during the Algerian Civil War. 7 monks were abducted and beheaded by an extremist Muslim outfit, and their heads were discovered 2 months later, but their bodies were never found. The martyrs were later beatified. Born into a Catholic working-class family in Lorraine, Father Pierre was ordained in 1953, and he later joined the Trappists. After his survival, he went to Morocco, where he set up a monastery and carried out evangelization among the local Muslims through his life of dialogue and prayer. The funeral is slated on Tuesday, November 30th, at the monastery chapel. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves and State Representative Ronnie Crudup Jr. will come together for a prayer gathering with pro-life supporters across the country on Sunday, November 28th, for a favorable ruling in the Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization case. The National Prayer Gathering, Pray Together for Life, hosted by Family Research Council, will take place in Jackson, Mississippi, 3 days before the Supreme Court hears oral arguments in the case that could repeal Roe v. Wade. The venue of the National Prayer Gathering will be the New Horizon Church in Jackson. Bishops, pro-life supporters, political and ethnic leaders will also take part in the prayer service. Pro-life supporters have been praying for an end to abortion since 1973, when Roe v. Wade legalized abortions in the country. The Dobbs case is about the constitutionality of Mississippi's 2018 statute prohibiting most abortions after the 15th week of pregnancy. As the fighting in the Anglophone areas in the Cameroon intensifies, thousands of Catholic faithful took to the streets of Bamenda demanding peace and reconciliation. Archbishop Andrew Fuwanya-Kia, who led the protest march on November 21st, prayed for peace in the region where separatist outfits are fighting French-speaking government troops. The protest came after the military raided St. Elizabeth Catholic General Hospital in Kumbo, the second biggest city of the Northwest region, searching for rebel fighters. The soldiers disrupted hospital services, and some even threatened the nuns, saying that they would torch the building the next time. Human rights organizations have condemned the attack on the hospital. 2 years ago, the same hospital was raided twice by the military. The Anglophone crisis in Cameroon began in 2016 when English-speaking lawyers and teachers started a protest against the growing dominance of French in the officially bilingual country. The two South Korean Catholic nuns who were arrested on proselytizing charges in Nepal have been finally granted bail by a high court. Announcing the news, Father Silas Bugatti, the Vicar General of Nepal, thanked the faithful for their prayers. On September 14, Sister Gemma Lucia Kim and Sister Martha Park Byung-sok of the Sisters of St. Paul of Chartres congregation were arrested from their mission in Pokhara Bus Park slum on charges of proselytizing, which is illegal in the country. The missionaries run Happy Home, a facility that provides housing, food, education, medical services, and professional training to about 120 children. The sisters were held in police custody until October 27th. After the court rejected their bail, the missionary nuns were transferred to the district prison. Christians are a minority in the predominantly Hindu Asian country and only comprise 1.4% of the total population. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.